Hey, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Sorry for the hold up there. And sorry for the hold up there. Got a lot going on this Thursday morning. Now, I really actually feel like, Josh, we hadn't even gotten the show started because we've bounced all around, but we've had some great things going on. We've had our Carla's Corner today, and then we had Tax Tips with Beth Bennett. We opened the show, if you're just joining us now, we opened the show with Congressman Doug Collins. I want to double back on that for a minute. And I'm your host, BKP. You can always reach the show, 706-889-9700. And that's a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week. You could text that number at any time. You could text that number at any time and get us there. We have our email address and also the social media ways that you can get in touch with us. Now, let me check the Twitter deck just to make sure as we're starting here 43 minutes ago. Okay, 43 minutes ago, Make America Great Again. The president tweeted that out, President Donald J. Trump. 44 minutes ago, the president said, getting ready to leave for the great state of Texas. Okay, now the president is going to head to the border. He's been doing a lot of tweeting this morning. So let's go back to, let's just stay on this morning. This morning, an hour ago, the first tweet of the day, crying Chuck. Now, there's been a lot made of, and I didn't get time to put up pictures here, so we're just going to have to roll with what I have. There's been a lot made of. Do you have the one where the GoFundMe? Can you pull that up? Get the GoFundMe one just to have some fun. Yeah, no hurry. But let me read the tweet while Josh is getting that picture. Because how did, and I wasn't here. Oh, God, I'm bouncing around. Thank you. Rick and Bruce did an outstanding job yesterday. They just did. They do a great job. They'll be with us Friday on the All-Star Political Panel. I attended, I was not on the border. I do know I was thinking about running down to the border and doing some, some reporting directly from our southern border. But instead, I found some things over at the Gilmer County Board of Commissioners workshop that I was interested in, and I believe in getting involved in our local government. If we would all get involved in that, things would change nationally. Absolutely, folks. If you'll go to your Board of Commissioners workshop, your Board of Commissioners meeting, your Board of Education, your City Council, if you will go to those and get involved, you will change the country. Oh, yeah. Yes, you will. Okay, so Crying Chuck told his favorite lie when he used his standard soundbite that I slammed the table and walked out of the room. He had a temper tantrum. He did. Because he knew he would say that. And after Nancy said no to proper border security, I politely said bye-bye and left. It's no slamming, waste of time. So they've come out, and they're pushing the narrative. Temper tantrum. Okay, a temper tantrum. If you notice something, and I know, go ahead and put that up. This went around all day yesterday. Like this one here, second podium for Nancy and Chuck. The goal's $1,000. This was a joke. GoFundMe, trying to get a second podium for Nancy and Chuck there. So that went around. Leave them up there for a minute while we talk about them, okay? That was some of the biggest jokes yesterday going around the internet. But these two people right here know they're lying to the American people. So if you know you're lying, they think if they yell loud enough that Trump is lying, you will miss the videos out there of Schumer, Pelosi, Obama, Hillary Clinton, the list goes on, that says we need border security that involves or includes a barrier on our southern border. So they think if they yell, Trump lied, temper tantrum, Trump did, passion, don't get passion confused with a temper tantrum. And Trump said, hey, if I stay 15 minutes, you've heard Nancy. Nancy said no. She wags her little finger. No, no. Okay? Absolutely not. No matter what happens, you don't get $1. The reporters, can he get $1? No, I won't even give him $1. I don't care, right? And the bottom line is he goes in a meeting. It didn't happen. He goes in a meeting. He takes some candy. I mean, my God, here, Nancy, here's some candy. You know I can't eat that. You know I can't do that, Donald. Why did you bring candy? Schumer, okay. Get some candy, pass it around here. Here's some Starburst. Here's some, here's some M&Ms, whatever the hell you want. Let's eat an M&M and talk for a minute. Okay, so if I sign everything, okay. Now Schumer said Trump is much smarter than these people, and I don't care what anybody says. Trump it's totally over the top, his intelligence level of these two people, because they know nothing. They think America is going to sit back and be in all these tears over government workers. Now, I do know we need some people in these key positions, okay? I know that. And you know that. But they think that we are going to break down and just bawl tears over 800,000 government workers. I'm still of the point that, just the fact that we found out that a partial equaled 800,000. Now, so they were saying, one, they haven't been able to refute the fact checking. They can't take that. I watched Morning Joe and Minka are off today. Okay, so I watched Little Willie Won't Go Home, and I watched Michael Steele, the token black Republican former chair of the RNC, lefty, whatever you want to call him. He's their token brother from the RMC, from another mother of the, he used to be the chair, whatever. Okay, so Michael Steele's on there, and Barnacle. Yesterday, CNN's head spun off, and so did MSNBC, ABC, CBS. They all spun off because, why? Because they could not fact check him in real time or any time against what the President of the United States came out and said to the American people. And you have a hard time with the one line when the President of the United States said walls are not so much to keep to protect people on the outside, or whatever the quote was, but to protect the ones you love inside the wall. And we love Americans. So they can't stand it. They can't do the fact checking that they thought. So they run out and they lie in front of the camera and say, oh, hey, 2 days ago, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are saying, just open the government, Mr. President. These poor people, please just open the government. If you open the government, then we could start talking about border security and have some good, positive conversation. He said yesterday to Nancy, I sign everything, open the government. Will you start talking about, some sort of barrier on this? No. So no matter what I say, nothing changes, right? No matter what I say. No matter what you say, you're getting not $1, I tell you. And then what's his name had his, where's my glasses? My Chuck Schumer impression. Mr. President, this is my Chuck Schumer. No, I don't want to do it, Chuck Schumer. Anyhow, but so that being said, so they come out and they lied, said he threw a temper tantrum. President of the United States, an hour ago, there is great unity with the Republicans in the House and the Senate, despite the fake news media working in overdrive to make the story look otherwise. The opposition party and the Dems know we must have strong border security, but they don't want to give Trump another one of many wins. That's what it all boils down to. These two people on the screen do not care if your neighbor is shot. They do not care if your kid is coming home from school today and is killed by a drunk driver that's here illegally, that's been deported 3 times. They don't care. They don't care if your kid is killed today by a drunk driver that should have been deported 3 times. And they live in a sanctuary city where the first notice to ICE is not granted or honored. You're supposed to have, ICE goes and puts a first notice, what's called a first notice. Hey, if they're released, we get first. They won't do it because they're in a sanctuary. They don't care. If your kid, your mom, your dad, your friend, no matter who is killed today, the president put the numbers out. These two do not care, okay? 16,000 a month or a week? I don't know. You do the math. They're probably fact checking me. 16,000 a week or a month. Killed, overdose, opiates, all right? Fentanyl, all the above, okay? These two don't care, okay? All right, 55 minutes ago, the president said great support for border security and the wall. Fox and Friends, even greater than anyone would know. President's supporters do not want him to cave. At Steve Ducey, I won't. The president put that out. Hey, he has the support. Now take him down a minute. Do me a favor. Hunt me a picture. I don't care what you find of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Get me a picture. This pales in comparison to what's about to happen, I think, okay? So here's my opinion, okay? As ugly and mean and, wow, I don't believe you said that. I don't believe you went there, okay? But what we need to do is call Mike Lindell, right? Do you know who Mike Lindell is? He's the My Pillow guy, right? I mean, joking or not, okay? Mike Lindell, My Pillow, we need to call him. We need to order a pillow. Promo code Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg, okay? 85 years old, not participating in the Supreme Court, has made so many political comments that she really should not be on the court just for that, okay? Her demeanor. She is 85, and, you know, sadly enough, she's had cancer surgery, okay? Let me just say this. Let me say this. Just saying, okay? Antonin Scalia, former Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, was in good health that we know of, went to a hunting trip out there in Texas, and decided one night after dinner to go and retire and go to sleep with a pillow over his head. Now, I say that, everybody's like, oh, freaking out, you know, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. All right, all I'm saying is, you know, with a pillow over his head, okay? Yeah. And, you know, next thing you know. So, you know, how many states have legalized assisted? I'm just saying, why am I the bad guy? She's 85. She needs to retire. Put the mirror under her nose and see if there's a fog. I mean, I think somebody should come out and tell us if she's alive. She will not leave the bench. She needs to leave the bench. She's not competent to serve another day. But I'm going to tell you something. If you think, that's Lindsey Graham, right? It will go through Lindsey Graham's committee. Get ready. Because if you think, all right, for 1 minute that they're going crazy over the border, wait till this happens. That's just saying. Just saying. So you can go ahead and take her down. All right. Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, with the Febreze. Yes, I understand. Putting the Febreze on her. That I like that. Didn't the guys do that yesterday? Having a good time. Oh, so you have somebody out there. All right. Now, I have a letter here, and we want to see what happens with the new William Burr is going to be the new Attorney General. So there's a lot of stuff that we want to get into tomorrow here, and we will wait a minute, what was today? Is today Thursday or Wednesday? Thursday. Oh, so I'm in Blue Ridge tomorrow? Wow, I'm glad I figured that out before, the show's over. Oh, that's because I wasn't here yesterday. So tomorrow we're in Blue Ridge's Circuit World, and we'll have everybody up there. We'll ask the All-Star Political Panel. But the Rod Rosenstein, so get ready for the next couple weeks. Rod Rosenstein is leaving as Assistant Director of the Department of Justice. He is leaving. They're going to confirmation hearing this week. Should be, I think it's this week, for William Burr, the new Attorney General. We'll find out what happens there. Rosenstein said he would stay. This is a while ago when he felt Mueller had wrapped up, so we are waiting on Mueller watch here. Tom Steyer, the billionaire. There's two things you want to pay attention to. I'm going to give you a couple things we're trying to highlight today. Tom Steyer, the billionaire that got involved in all of the campaigns over the past 2018. Tom Steyer said he would. Remember that interview? I brought it to you here. I brought this out, and I know that got glossed over. When he was asked, would he run for president? Okay? And I think Steyer has put up 5 points. You do the Google, go in there, check it out. Steyer put up 5 points that he wanted to make sure was hit during a presidential campaign. My biggest thing is not Tom Steyer's. My biggest thing is not Tom Steyer's announcement, okay, that he will not run for president of the United States, okay, and that he will put $40 million to move the ball forward to impeach the president of the United States. My thing is, when that was announced, is who did Tom Steyer find? Who did he find to support as a candidate for president of the United States? Because his quote, if you go back and we'll try to find the interview, because we did it right here, and I think we even did the audio that day, that Tom Steyer said when asked, will you run for president of the United States? He said, I have 5 points that I need to make sure. He said, if I cannot find a candidate that will fit the 5 points of a candidate that I want to see happen, then I will run if I cannot find that candidate. So that's what you need to be watching for, is who is the candidate that Tom Steyer has found in the Democrat Party that made him decide he would not run. Now, I'm trying to get to a lot of stuff before we close. And the one thing I did, and I will get this letter, okay? I will get this letter out today, and I'll put it on the internet. But, Republicans asked, all right, we got a major problem still. See, the problem didn't go away. And we've got to put pressure. I asked Congressman Doug Collins if his counterpart in the Senate, which is Lindsey Graham, will carry this on and move over. But remember that we asked for a special counsel to be appointed. So in March of 2018, the committee called for then Attorney General Jeff Sessions to appoint a special counsel to review FBI and DOJ decisions in 2016 and 17. Specifically, the committees expected an official who would review decisions made or not made by the Department of Justice and the FBI in 2016 and 17, including but not limited to evidence of bias by any employee or agent of the DOJ or FBI or other agencies involved in the investigation, the decisions to charge or not charge, and whether those decisions were made consistent with the applicable facts, okay, the applicable law, and the traditional investigation and prosecutorial policies and procedures, and whether the FISA process employed in the fall of 2016 was appropriate and devoid of extraneous influence. Sorry, I had to get it out. But we asked for that when the Republicans were in charge. That goes back to March, okay? Now, the Department of Justice said, no, we're not going to do a special counsel. Although the Attorney General then, Jeff Sessions, did not appoint a special counsel, he recognized the importance, is all they did, of the committee's inquiry and appointed a person in the Department of Justice to review the matters. That person that they appointed to review the matters, okay, was United States Attorney Mr. Huber. Now, Mr. Huber is in the office of Salt Lake City, Utah. So as the congressman said this morning, they thought, well, here's what the Department of Justice did. You know, they would appease the request, okay? We got a problem in the Department of Justice and the FBI. It did not go away, and that's why I want to know what William Burr plans to do as the head of the Department of Justice, and I want to know what we're going to do as far as the FBI is concerned, okay? But it did not go away. So what they did is, and you heard the congressmen say themselves, they thought they would kick this can out to Utah and it would just disappear. Well, then in December, Mark Meadows, then Chairman Mark Meadows, hey, he instructed this guy to come testify. And remember, there was a placard up there that said Mr. Huber, and he just chose not to come testify, okay? And the letter that went out January 7th that's getting no coverage whatsoever is signed by sincerely Jim Jordan, Doug Collins, and Mark Meadows. Okay? So Congressman Jim Collins, the congressman with us this morning, Doug Collins, and Congressman Mark Meadows. And they're demanding, okay, please provide the requested documents, and there's a list. The total number of witnesses, they want to know the total number of witnesses you have interviewed, including names and specific individuals where possible, and the number of witnesses remain to be interviewed. The total number of FISA applications you reviewed. What did you do? The total number of documents reviewed, including their substance and format, email, meeting notes, phone logs, etc. The description and account of your coordination with the Department of Justice, IG, that's the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz. We want to know. I mean, this got sent to you in March of 2018. We've asked over and over, Mr. Huber. You know, got kicked out to Utah. We set you up in December to come and testify and bring us information and answer to the committee. You were a no-show. You didn't show up. You didn't even return our calls. We hear you're not interested in even participating in this. That's what we hear. This is a lot of information that we've asked for, okay? And the letter is dated, like I said, January 7th. It said, please provide the requested documents and information as soon as possible, but no later than 5 p.m. January 21st, 2019. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but that is something that's not making the news, not making the rounds. That's very important, and we will get that letter up today. I want to get that letter on the website today. We will get that out there, and we'll put it on social media so you can see it to make sure it's out there and it's you're getting to see it. Now, Jerry Nadler, I brought this up with the congressman. Jerry Nadler is the chair, and here's my concern there, and I understand the Congressman Doug Collins, we'll go with that. He is the Republican ranking committee member of the Judiciary Committee, okay? And we're gonna go with that right now. That I understand Collins, the congressman, to me, my opinion is he's got to step back just a little bit. Not that he's not going to be assertive, and he's got to gather in which direction these people are going to go. All right, whether he tells us that or not, that would be my opinion. Nadler, what is disgusting me with these people, okay, is Nadler came out, and this is the guy who's going to be the chairman, okay, and we're wondering if he wants to impeach the President of the United States. But Nadler comes out to microphones 2 days ago and just blisters the president as a liar. And, you know, there was a time when they had respect for each other And they were very cautious before the word lie came up. I mean, remember Joe Wilson of North Carolina was censured because he wasn't in front of a microphone outside, but he broke the decorum, I guess is what it's called, of the House rules. He wasn't wearing religious head covering, but he yelled during the State of the Union, "You lie," okay, to the President of the United States when he was trying to explain that then Barack Obama that, you know, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. You lie! Well, Joe Wilson got in big trouble, and the next day it was, oh my God, we don't say lie in this town because, you know, anybody could be guilty. You know, it's a long lineup when we say lie. But there used to be a little caution on that. Nadler stands out front 3 days ago in front of cameras. Jerry Nadler, okay, he stands out there and he says, "President's a liar. He's nothing but a liar. Why would the American people believe him when every word that comes out of his mouth is a lie?" He's going to stand up in front of the cameras and he's going to lie to the American people. This is the guy we're wondering if he is wanting to bring impeachment hearings and charges against the President of the United States as this guy stands up. That concerns me. Nadler is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. The House Judiciary Committee is where you would bring, I think you need to pay attention to something, okay? Jerry Nadler, and we'll give this as one of our takeaways because there's one more thing I want to do. Jerry Nadler is the chairman. Gerard from New York. Gerard is the chairman, congressman from New York of the House Judiciary Committee, okay? The House Judiciary Committee, right, is where articles of impeachment would start. Got it? Right there. Tom Steyer said that the impeach now president, Tom Steyer said that he's not going to run for president of the United States so he can invest $40 million just in his efforts to impeach that alone, the president of the United States. Who do you think that $40 million would be focused on if Steyer's smart enough to know that Jerry Nadler's the one that's going to bring the articles? Just saying. First step, and I want to say this, this is my closer today because I want you to watch Instant Replay with Dave Garner, our sports show that's coming up. This is something I want to say. Now, and here's the comment on November 14th, 2018, all right? Now, the president signed what was called First Step Reform, okay? And let me just read Congressman Doug Collins' comment on this today, and this was November 14th of last year. Today marks a huge step forward in our endeavor to make meaningful justice reform a reality. The president unequivocally called on Senate to pass this legislation, which the House voted on overwhelmingly this past May. We began working with the White House on the First Step Act over a year ago, and we couldn't have asked for better, more driven partners than the President Trump and Jared Kushner. This kind of progress reflects the ability of the president to find common agreement for the common good in complex areas. And I look forward to voting and send this bill to his desk soon. So in the First Step criminal justice reform bill that was signed last year, okay, a much needed overhaul, the First Step Act was negotiated and voted on and agreed upon, which is voted on, with Democrats involved. And this was not an easy bill to do, okay? This was not easy to do. And some may say, well, wait a minute, how can you parallel this? But this alone, the First Step Act, affects millions and millions of Americans. Americans, not illegals, Americans. And it is important, probably starting to, not every American, but starting with the African American community, the black young men and older men in jail. Now, where will this go? This doesn't get any play. I refuse to be bitter or angry, Matthew Charles, released from prison and sent back again, begins life as a free man. I've just been praying and hoping that this day would come, Charles said, and it has come, and it's remarkable. It's a remarkable feeling, okay? It can be difficult to maintain hope and keep from getting angry when the government gives you freedom and then takes it back. But Charles, Matthew Charles, says he managed by remembering how far he had come, more than 2 decades in a federal prison for selling crack cocaine with a single disciplinary infraction and a growing group of supporters pushing for his release after he was released then from prison again. I refuse to disappoint myself in them. So now, Charles is 52, all right? He's 52, and the new order was made possible by changes to the criminal justice system signed December 21st by President Donald Trump, a bipartisan effort known as the First Step Act, which erased mandatory minimum drug sentences. Now, there's a lot of argument back and forth on this, but Charles is 52. He's the first person that is released from prison based on President Donald Trump signing the First Step Act, and he happens to be black. Happens to be black. You would think that Al Sharpton, you would think that black community leaders, the ones that call themselves community leaders, all over the United States would be highlighting how much this is going to help black young men and older men in prison over maybe what some would call minor legal infractions, but got caught up in the system. No, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want that on the front page because they don't want black men in America that's under the biggest attack by Democrats, whether you want to know it or not, is actually going to come out, and this is going to be good for them in America. President Donald Trump, when you voted, he looked at the young black men and women in America and he said, what the hell do you have to lose? I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back tomorrow morning in Blue Ridge, of all places. Circuit World, 8 a.m. Take us out of here, Josh.